Breaking news. This just in from the Hollywood sometimes does right things industry. It has been revealed that Karen Bass has been cast as Harvey Dent TwoFace in the Batman 2 because she is so good at saying one thing and doing another. Will she also play Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde? Tune in 11 to find out. I am so sick of LA politicians. Rah! They're so god-awful. I mean, New York City had this curse for a very long time. I mean, they had de Blasio did some good things, to be fair, but they had de Blasio, and then, of course, they've got Adams, and I can't remember. There's one other that I can't think of. Why can some of the most major cities in America not have good mayors? Why? Why is this a thing? And of course, with Mamdani's win, you know, there's a whole bunch of stuff that is obviously positive, but it ties into the whole theme of this episode. So, let's get down to the beverage of the stream, shall we? Going back to my roots. These are my roots. Ooh. That was awful. Stone's Delicious IPA. Oh, it's a double. Oh, this is a mistake. I decided to not do another Cutwater Margarita because that last one was... Whew, that was something. That was an experience. There we go. Got my little lunch beer. Let's get started, shall we? That is a double IPA. That is very much a double IPA. Oh, wow. I enjoy the double IPAs. I've even had a triple IPA. Because you're getting more bang for your buck, right? It's the same price normally as a regular beer, but well, maybe $1 or two more, as opposed to like a well or a cocktail, you know, or a martini, which are just so much different price scale, and like not really as much alcohol content, I would say. So listen, if you ever want to get fucked up, talk to this guy. Okay, I know all the cheat codes. I got all the ways to get drunk that you'll never know about. I've been drunk more times than you've even been awake. Does that even make sense? I need to go back to like the beers that I enjoy. I need to just Costco always changes up their beer selections, right? So they have the regular brands that, you know, like the Heineken's, Coronas, Michelob, Bud Light, which to me is just piss water. Like, I can't stand that stuff. So there was a time when they had Blue Moon consistently, and I'm like, yes, this is what I want. They got Blue Moon, let's do it. And, you know, I would just stock up on Blue Moon when I would go there. And so that'd be perfect. I'd have my little Blue Moon lunch beer, you know, only 5.4%, so it's perfect. I could, like, have it and then wait an hour or so before driving. Or, you know, doing whatever, being in public after an alcoholic beverage. But this stuff, like these double IPAs, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't like the Stone flavor. I mean, of all the choices that they had at the Costco, like, this was a better one. But why can't Costco have, like, good beers? You know? Why? To be fair, I think they had Pacifico. I should have gone with Pacifico, but your boy wasn't thinking clearly that day. Not thinking clearly today either. I'm on, like, 3 hours of sleep. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see the 3 hours of sleep, chat? Can you see it? Can you see it? Okay. Enough weirdness. Let's get down to business, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, the whole theme, and now that I'm starting, let's see. I don't have much time because the TikTok ban hammer is going to be coming down, so I'm going to try to rush through this. So, Karen Bass is an unbelievably two-faced politician and a bald-faced liar. 100%, she is one of the most corrupt, self-dealing, friend-enriching politicians that's ever walked through the LA City Hall. She's horrible. And it is so frustrating, because I voted for her. You know, again, the choice was her or Caruso, right? What were the other options? But the way she's going, it's like, would Caruso really have been worse? Yes, he would have. But it's hard to imagine how, at this point. It's really, really hard to imagine how. So she was elected, obviously, going to be the first black progressive mayor of a major city. I think there was one before her, but maybe it was the first on the West Coast. I can't remember. But it would have been a really, really historic moment. And she has failed miserably. I'll get into that in a moment here. So and this is what happens when a politician runs on things that they don't actually mean and that they don't actually want to accomplish. This is exactly, and I'm going to build on this, this is exactly why people get so cynical about politics and politicians. They say, oh, well, this guy promised this, and he's just going to be like this other guy, so nothing's going to change. That's why we have such little faith in democracy. No wonder we have a fascist takeover in this country right now, because, look at look at the cards we're dealt. We elect these people that say they're going to do this, and then they don't, right? So it's extremely disheartening and disenfranchising, and yeah, no wonder we don't have even half the actual country turn out to vote on election day. Okay, let's get down to the actual business here. So, right now, Mayor Karen Bass is collaborating between LAPD and all the other local law enforcement in Los Angeles under her jurisdiction, are coordinating with the MAGA Gestapo, ICE. I want to say the MAGA Gestapo, formerly known as ICE, as if it was Prince or something. So she's posted a lot of tweets in the tone of trying to support the community, in the tone of trying to support immigrants, in the tone of condemning Trump and ICE, when her actions have done the exact opposite. There's numerous footage, and I've personally seen it myself, of LAPD and other organizations collaborating with ICE to help them conduct these kidnappings. So here's a tweet. This was from... What's today? Is today the 27th? Today's the 27th. This is from June 26th. This is from yesterday. She says, a man with leukemia is skipping... A man with leukemia is skipping chemo. A grandmother is packing in fear. A church in East LA has lost half its members. This isn't about public safety. It's fear as policy. And she has a picture. Oh, it's a thing from LA Times. LA immigration raids force the undocumented to something something. It's forcing me to pay to read the article. Whatever. So the point is, she's posting this article about undocumented immigrants in LA living in fear, which they of course are. Because of the MAGA Gestapo that are these people that you can't tell difference from the cartel. Can't tell what this is. Oh, okay, it's fake news. These people that you can't tell is the difference between the cartel and actual federal agents. So she's posting this on the side of the immigrant community while she is doing the exact opposite. She is collaborating with ICE and allowing them to conduct these kidnappings. She is not telling them to stand down. She is not telling them to avoid the areas. She's doing the exact opposite. She is allowing the LAPD to run amok as they always have. That's one tweet. And then she's also posted, this was today. It's a picture of another LA Times article, a picture of the National Guard. She's saying, imagine you sign up to defend and fight for your country just to be used as a political pawn to guard an office building. People around the world are laughing at us. Support our troops, stop the raids. And it's a picture of the National Guard that are standing outside, it looks like the federal building or something similar. Think of the mentality of these poor guys that are out there in this heat, standing on the hot-ass LA pavement. There's not a lot of entertainment. They're kind of just standing there with their hands, around their weapons, looking out at traffic. And I don't know if you've ever seen LA traffic, but paint drying on a wall is more entertaining. So, here's the thing, is that she's right. These people wanted to do something good with their lives, I think, anyway, to sign up to defend the country, and Trump is using them exactly as a political pawn. She's 100% right. So why aren't you doing something, Karen? Why aren't you stopping them? There are literal laws in place that LA and the state of California are sanctuary cities. Why are you not enforcing those laws? Why are you not working with Governor Newsom, gruesome Newsom, to do the exact same thing, to enforce these laws? It's because at the end of the day, she's a collaborator. This is performative political theater. This is what these centrist Democrats do every single time. They put on a big show. They puff out their chest, just like they're doing, and the Democrats on Capitol Hill are doing with all these hearings. They're puffing out their chest. They're, doing their little King Kong routine for the cameras. And then guess what? The next day, they go and vote for the MAGA nominee. They go and vote for the crypto bill. They go and vote for the one big beautiful bill. It's all political theater. These people are not, to quote Succession, you are not serious people. And they're not. They don't mean any of the things that they're actually saying. I already read this one. It was shameful for both Kristi Noem and J.D. Vance to parachute into town and mischaracterize our city. First of all, that's just a weird sentence. I mean, I think that her social media person thought that they really ate with that comment, and cool, good for you. Los Angeles knows the truth, and we stand against the Trump administration's effort to intimidate and sow fear into our city. How? How are you doing that, Karen? Collaborating, Karen? What are you doing here? What are you doing to stop these kidnappers and these terrorists and these cartel members going through our communities? What are you doing? The answer is she's not doing anything. And this also goes into the corruption aspect of her. She posts here another Inside Safe operation. So Inside Safe was the homeless program that she championed on the campaign trail and then initiated when she got into office, which is a really good idea. It's to take homeless folks off the streets and house them temporarily and then finally find long-term housing. They house them short-term in hotels before they try to find long-term housing for them. Good goal, good goal. Unfortunately, it has been a complete and total disaster. So here she's posting, another Inside Safe operation was completed in Highland Park, bringing more than 45 Angelinos indoors from a long-standing encampment near local businesses and a metro rail station. This coordinated effort between two council districts helped restore two communities and move dozens of residents one step closer to stable permanent housing. So, all sounds good, right? Here's the problem, is that those unhoused folks go into these housing, this short-term housing, the hotels, motels, what have you, and then all their belongings are left out there in the street. You know what happens? Gone. They bring in fucking bulldozers and they destroy it all. People are losing birth certificates, for God's sakes. How else, if you want a homeless person to get on their feet, a birth certificate is kind of a good start, They're going to need that for basic documentation purposes if they get hired somewhere. How does that benefit them? How does that benefit the community? To house them somewhere, and then you want to set them up long term, but then you destroy the very documents that they need to get a job, to get a house, to get a loan, to get a credit card, to get a fucking scooter. How does that help? The answer is it doesn't. So now we get into the actual numbers here. So this was posted from, is this NBC4? NBC4 Los Angeles, November 30th, 2023. I don't have my glasses, so bear with me. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass was elected on promises to make a big dent quickly in the city's homeless crisis. But almost a year later in office, her costly plan has put only 255 of the city's 46,000 homeless into permanent housing. Now, keep in mind, that's over almost a year in office, and they've only housed 255 people. This is why people say that government is inefficient. We have the capability, we have the technology. We can do this. We are more than capable of taking these folks, and 255 of approximately 46,000 people, that's what we get after almost a year. That would not be acceptable under, that's less than 1% of a percent of a 1%. It's not even close to what we would need to help these folks. Now, here is where we get into the nitty-gritty of how it's so inefficient. This was published by the Center Square on August 9th, 2023, so it was a little before the other article. New data released by the City of Los Angeles suggests Mayor Karen Bass's signature Inside Safe homelessness reduction policy, which pays for hotel rooms for homeless individuals as they search for longer-term housing, costs $17,009 per month. Per month, okay? That's an insane figure. Absolutely insane figure. $17,009 per month. I mean, I pay like $1,500 in rent alone. This cost is completely bloated. I can't remember if the article goes into this or not. Program's current retention rates roughly... At the program's current retention rates, roughly 1 in 6 individuals who enter the program exit, choosing to return to the streets. So 1 in 6 return despite tens of millions spent. Only 1,463 individuals have been served, 1,105 of whom are in the program's short-term housing, 108 of whom have entered permanent housing, and 250 of whom have either left the program entirely or are served from the streets. So these budgets get bloated. Is this the article that talks? Okay. So the it's basically $567 per night to house them. Notably, these costs include LAPD security for encampment cleanup support. That's what I'm talking about right there. Why are they cleaning up the encampments? It's one thing if they were to actually like tidy it up, actually pick up legitimate trash like wrappers, newspapers, stuff like that. But no, they're not. They're coming in and they're bulldozing people's homes that they have actually built with like plywood and tents that they have been given or donated to from homeless organizations or people like myself that I give this stuff to. It also includes Department of Transportation for moving participants, LA County Homeless Services Authority assistance for homeless outreach, and the offering of housing and services for program participants, such as 24/7 monitoring and food. Food makes sense. But 24/7 monitoring, are these monitoring? Are we building homes for the homeless or are we building concentration camps? Why are we monitoring them? We give them a home, they have a life, and we provide services for them to come to. You don't need to monitor these folks. We have seen multiple examples of pilot programs like the one in Portland. There's also been ones overseas in... Europe somewhere, I can't remember where they just give people money. Free money. If you're homeless or on the streets or whatever. Free money. And guess what? They pick themselves up. They get a home, they get a job, and eventually they don't need that government funding anymore. Why are we monitoring these folks? It's completely unnecessary. There are absolutely ways to cut down on this cost. But the fact is, this is where we get into it. Let's see. So Karen Bass was awarded, this was from LA Times, May 29, 2025. So she was given, she declared a homelessness emergency, a city emergency for homelessness, and the city council gave her the power to award no bid contracts to nonprofit groups and to rent hotels, motels, yada, yada, yada. So she had no bid contracts that she could just give out to anybody that she wants, right? Here's where the corruption comes in. Whistleblowers say LA's top homeless official hired unqualified friends and tried to destroy public records. LA's top homeless services official, yada yada, engaged in major misconduct, including hiring unqualified friends into powerful positions. Let's see. Fired for speaking up. Awarded $800,000. What the whistleblowers alleged. Pushed out experienced... Adams Kellum pushed out experienced staff to hire unqualified friends and former subordinates from her previous job into high-level, high-salary LAHSA roles. This is how the corruption happens, right? Because collaborating Karen can give out all of these contracts, no bid, no questions asked, just here, you do what you want, no oversight, by the way, and then what do you know? These people don't hire the folks that they should, and they just give money away to their besties, to their relatives, have a nice cushy job. It is no different than what the Trump regime is doing. Remember when they had Ivanka and Don Jr. and Eric and Jared Kushner, they gave them all these cushy jobs, and we're even seeing it still with all the other cabinet members that the Democrats voted for, by the way, hire their friends and their family to do all these bullshit jobs that they don't actually do. They literally just get an office where they can jerk off into for the entire 8-hour day, and they have no responsibilities. That's exactly what's happening here. You cannot be mad at the Republicans if you're not equally mad at collaborating Karen. So now, this is where it all ties in with Zoran Mamdani's win. He ran on a big platform. Many people whom I trust on being able to see through the BS of politicians, I trust these folks a lot, are extremely skeptical of him. Understandably, because we have been fed this bill of goods before, and it's all turned out to be horse shit. And yet, what is the point in living if we're not going to have a bit of hope? What is the point of a democracy if we can't hold on to hope? But I'll tell you what, Zoran, you got your work cut out for you, brother. We're watching you here on the West Coast, and, we're praying and we're hoping. Because this guy was given a huge mandate, an incredible upsetting win, with a massively popular platform. And now it's on him to implement it. Because if he does not, this feeds into the exact cynicism of your average American voter. Oh, why should I vote? Nothing's going to change. Oh, yeah, he's going to say that and then do something in office. And you know what? They got a bloody point. They really... Why did I say bloody? I went all British on you there. I hope you don't mind. But the fact is that Mamdani has to deliver. That's where we're at right now. And he's backed by the DSA, Democratic Socialists of America. Whoo, boy, do they have a problematic track record, right? There's a lot of reasons to be very skeptical. But at the same time, rebellions were built on hope. We have to hope. And we did hope. And that's how many people built his campaign and brought him into office. Now, Zoran, my friend, you better fucking deliver. Don't make me go all De Niro on you. You better fucking deliver. You don't deliver. You want to see the inside of a trunk? The worst De Niro impression ever. Hold on, let me try if I can do a Pacino here. Hooah! Zoran, yeah. Great name, yeah, I like it. Very powerful, very strong. Tell you what, boy, you better make sure that you deliver on those promises, because if you don't, I got a car. I'll drive out India. I went like walking with it. Damn it! Either way, Zoran Mamdani, you need to deliver. If not just for yourself and your constituents and what you ran on, deliver for the actual hope that we have a democracy that's worth saving.